I don't feel like Shakur may be right about the Edwin De Los Santos thing because Frank Martin this year was his coming out year. Basically, his showcase fight was, uh, I want to say 14 months ago. But this year, Frank Martin has fought two top 10 fighters already this year. Already. Artem, the last fighter he fought, Artem, I forgot his last name, starts with an H. He was a top 10 fighter. He was actually on the list of contenders for Shakur back in July. And also, Michelle Rivera was on the list of contenders for Shakur back in July. So, the last two fights that Frank Martin has had was against two top 10 fighters. Now, let me ask everyone a question out there. If you're Frank Martin, you just fought two top 10 fighters, and you're really trying to gauge how good your skills is, because you really don't know how good your skills is versus another guy until you actually get in the ring with him. Trust me, I've seen people, when I was in combat, it's been guys who's way bigger than me that I've handled better than handled the guys who were skinny. So you never know when you're getting in there. But I will say, Frank Martin's resume right now is better than I can't lie. He just fought a guy on PEDs. Then the Artem guy who came over here, he was undefeated, and I already knew that fight was gonna go 12 rounds. Um, but that guy's a hard fight for anyone. I would have liked to see Shakur actually fight either Artem, but they would say Michelle Rivera was just on PEDs. Well, Frank Martin had to fight him on PEDs. Frank Martin had to fight him on PEDs. He just got busted with PEDs. I wouldn't fight him. Frank Martin just fought him on PEDs. Ain't nobody doing that. And he ain't complained not one time. He just kept it pushing. And he went on to the next. Fought the Artem guy. That's a hard fight. That was a hard fight. And he just did this. So, and he was ready to jump in there with Shakur. And that would have been insane when I think about it now, because he just had two top 10 fights. And he's not fighting top 10 guys on a regular. This is not a... See, people are trying to have him do things that Canelo's doing. And Canelo is Canelo. That's why he's getting paid like he is. People aren't jumping in the ring with guys every 6 months, every 4 months with a guy that's a killer. So at the end of the day, you can't sit up here and try to say, I don't feel like the De Los Santos resume is better than what Frank Martin's is. I mean they say the Valencia fight, the knockout. I mean, that's cool, but Valencia just lost the to he just lost the Colbert. So I can't really sit up here and try to. Nah, I don't want to do all that. I'm not trying to. Nah, I want to see somebody fight Artem. They fight Artem, that little tricky style that is crazy. If anybody can sit up there and try to control that guy, like Frank Martin said in that fight, that style was very hard. He was a very hard fighter to beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as far as if he has to get back in the gym and try to work on things. That's a hard fight for anybody. For anybody, it's a hard fight. Just like when you see Oscar Valdez. I didn't sit up here and say, oh, Shakur went 12 rounds with Oscar Valdez. He struggled. Nah, Oscar Valdez is a good fighter. Just like when he just went 12 rounds with Navarrete. So to say De Los Santos, nah, I'm not going to do that. And then I want another thing. Why is Shakur not saying these things about Lomachenko? Lomachenko is way more equipped. He's supposed to be the guy who's supposed to be challenging fighters like Shakur. He's supposed to be the Canelo of 135, 130. Why is he not calling out guys like Shakur? You know, but nah, Frank Martin's actually put on, and I'm not someone who's capable for Frank Martin. I'm just being the truth. I've seen the list. I will put the list up of the fighters that Shakur was supposed to fight this summer. Two of those fighters, Frank Martin has just already beat. Jermaine Ortiz on that list. A lot of top ranked guys on that list. But nah, I don't see it right now. Right now, it's a lot of options at 135. So to just be pinpointing out Frank Martin, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. It's way more guys at 135. To me, if you're calling out Frank Martin or if he's got that much attention going towards him, obviously he's a threat. That's what that shows me. That's real talk. That's straight. I'm standing on business. Sound like a threat. Sound like he's a threat because for me to overlook Lomachenko and to focus on Frank Martin with me and Lomachenko on the same side, I wouldn't understand that. I feel like Lomachenko is someone who I should have my eyes on, especially with Kambosos over on that side. Now Kambosos is over there now, but I got some news coming up about that right now. So that video will either be up first or it'll be up after this video. But I'll be letting people out about that, letting people know about that situation because you have Shakur, Lomachenko, and Kambosos all in the same weight class, but nothing's going on. But we focusing on, as people used to say, cross the street. When people say, "Oh, that fight can be easily made," so and so, so and so, and he just offered. He said he offered Lomachenko his highest payday. Now me, I'm being a good journalist because I sit up here and I said that Lomachenko got his highest career payday offered, and so did Frank Martin. But I said so did Frank Martin. But if we're gonna hold Frank Martin accountable as far as him being a duck or he didn't accept his highest payday and so better than him and I don't feel like he wanna fight me, gotta be the same kind of energy for Lomachenko. But it's not though. That same promotional company kind of stuff, I'm feeling that kind of energy. I'm feeling that energy. This is WWE versus WCW. I don't like that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of guys over there that don't want to smoke either. Kambosos, all the other people. You know who the only person that said, I'll still fight you? If the business right, if the money right, I'll still fight you? Frank Martin did. That's why Shakur still knows, okay, I'm going to still say this about Frank Martin, so and so, so and so. I'm telling you, I'm watching all this. I'm keeping notes of all this going on. Because right now, 135 has like 50 guys that can fight each other. So to just, and I seen the list. I'm going to put the list up though. I'm going to put up the list. It's a nice, accurate list. I think another journalist did it, but it's a nice, accurate list. It's right too. And Frank Martin's already fought 2 guys on there already. It's a lot of guys at 135 ain't doing that. That's why Devin showed up, jumped into the mix, took a pay cut, got the belts, ruled up 135, and got out of there. He couldn't. He didn't even want to make 135 the last fight. People talking about why he going to 140. You know why he going to 140? Shoot, if you can fight him at 135, fight him at 140. Especially if you ain't got no belt right now. Hey, I go up to 40 and fight you. But yeah, I feel like the Frank Martin, De Los Santos thing. I mean, it was a good fight. He's a hard puncher. He has a lot of knockouts. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of knockouts. But the knockouts don't mean anything. A lot of people was picking Anthony Joshua to beat Wilder. And Wilder had all knockouts in his fights. So the knockouts don't really impress me to say, yeah, he got a lot of knockouts. He's a puncher. All that lets me know is he has no punch output. I want to see Shakur in the ring with somebody who has more punch output or just as much as he does. That's a Frank Martin, a Lomachenko, not a Kambosos, but fighters like that, power punchers, and even Jermaine Ortiz would be good. Jermaine Ortiz is a fight I want to see soon for Shakur Stevenson, honestly. If that's not early next year or next year, I want to see that fight ASAP. It's too much talent over there. They don't got to hunt down Frank Martin. It's other guys. It's way more other guys. But if we're just going to call him out, that's more like a strategy than it is something else. Because there's a lot of guys at 135 that has not fought 2 top 10 guys this year like Frank Martin. And that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. 2 of them already this year. That's a fact. Nobody's doing that. So to have the guy who has done that, he's probably, if I had to look it up, I don't know how many guys at 135 has fought 2 top 10 guys. There's only 10 of them. So I don't know how you can fight 2 of them, but I don't know how everybody can fight 2 of them, but I know two guys have. I mean, I know one guy has, and he's the one that's being accused of ducking and not being as good as somebody who was a 130 pounder. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm still here for it, but I'm just gonna say what's on my mind. It's just the truth. I'm just taking the information how it comes to me. It's not something I'm coming up with. This is the situation. But that's all I got. Like and subscribe.